today we're gonna be doing we're just gonna create a tier list of my favorite Monumenta dungeons with all the dungeons, including Fallen Forum, none of the strikes, and not Malevolent Reverie, because it's a pretty chill dungeon, but like I don't want to put it on here. So anyway, let's get started with White. White, it's hard for like in terms of a early game dungeon, right? Like you go to the next dungeon and Orange is completely easy. Along with that, White has tons of lava in it. It's an okay dungeon design. In my opinion, it's like B tier. Orange, I quite enjoy Orange. It's short, it's easy, it's simple. High B tier. High B tier. It's not A tier. Let's move this white wool here and ruin the tier list because we're in paint and paint has no layering. Okay, so next up we're gonna have Magenta. A lot of people don't like this dungeon. It's honestly not a hard dungeon. It's definitely worse than White. I'll put it in C tier because, you know, it's Magenta. It's not the best. It's not the worst either, though. Let's go to Light Blue. I actually don't like Light Blue. I played it recently. It was annoying, especially with just like all the stuff. The Void section is scary for new players, especially. Compare that to like Yellow's Void section. Oh no. Well, I guess this is, let's just do this. Let's just move it back again. You know. There we go. So it's meh. I don't like Light Blue much. It's just, in my opinions, not fun to play, really. Especially the beginning, it's like half in water. And it doesn't follow through with that water theme, so it just kind of feels like a useless section of the dungeon. Like the water didn't need to be there. So next up we have Yellow. Yellow. The rework got rid of the water section, which makes it 10 times better. Well, since like I only played it like 3 times. The first time I failed because dungeon keys got lost. Second time I played it, won the dungeon, continued on, and then third time I was playing with my friend, with going to skill level, same skill level as him, using the gear from that run. Honestly, it's a pretty good dungeon. I like it, I enjoy it, especially since there's no more beds and you have teleporters now onto that underground section. It's a lovely dungeon. Lime is another lovely dungeon. It is a water dungeon and it's all marshy, but it keeps consistent with the theme. And the underwater, the fully submerged part is honestly not bad because you get water breathing. And the mobs aren't too annoying except for those flying creepers. It gets lower A tier. We'll move it later. The next dungeon, Pink Gray. Let's go with Pink first because these are a bit more in order. Pink, I haven't played in a while. I do like how the twisted theme is near the end. And the seasons in the beginning, those were fun. Those are pretty fun. So let's move this a bit higher than Lime. I kind of like Lime slightly less. It's a fine dungeon. Lime is easy though, like really easy. It's like the easiest. It's easier than White and Orange. It's like slightly easier than Orange at least. Gray. Gray's overall design, except for that last part, is like good. The last part, it's a bit scary. Not bad, just scary. I'll put this in A tier. Like Gray. Contrary to people's beliefs on Light Gray, I'll put like slightly ahead of Yellow. It's not my favorite dungeon. but it's not a bad dungeon either. I think after I put it, I'll move it a bit, because I don't know how I was going to put it before. I don't know how I'm going to put it now. But it's definitely better than yellow. Actually, I might move yellow a bit farther back. And move gray to high B tier, because I don't actually enjoy gray too much. I do enjoy like the first part of gray though. Now let's get into the fun dungeon. S tier. I love purple. Purple is so fun, except for the Oreman. But other than the Oreman, it's beautiful. I love the dungeon. I just love playing it. It's like it has an interesting design. You fight Varcosa. Varcosa is pretty fun to fight, especially with those teleporting. It's not a frustrating dungeon. It's not too hard. It's not too easy. It's just right for where you're at. And like all the sections are pretty solid. The underwater parts aren't long, so it doesn't feel suffocating. And clearing the dungeon is just fun overall. The Sky Screamers are probably the worst part about the dungeon, and the Oremen are ridiculously strong. But in that, it's a really fun dungeon. I really love it. Echoes of Oblivion. First time playing it, it was pretty fun. Never played it again though, because it's very long. So I'm probably gonna put this like ahead of gray. Like I do prefer gray a bit more. I mean teal a bit more, because I just like the theming of teal and how you move through time. I've only played teal once and I never got the artifact, but it's overall fun concept. You get free artifact if you do good. It's the only dungeon without a guaranteed rare at the end, like a main dungeon. No guaranteed artifact either, like Reverie. Olive Branch. Olive Branch is solid. It's not too bad. Honestly, it's easier than teal, at least when I played teal versus when I played Olive Branch. That quest line. The Fallen Forum. I can't believe I forgot the name. Just awful fool. It's like feels easier. Wasn't that hard. The mobs at the beginning it feels hard, but after you like go to the second section is easy. Boss fight was a bit difficult. This was all before the grave rework. So you had to keep retrieving your stuff in that boss fight if you died. But overall, I actually like the boss fight, except for the blazes. Anyway, let's move this a bit more. Let's move white back a bit, because we can't have everything in A tier. Let's move gray here. Let's move yellow to be in front of lime instead of in front of pink. Maybe we move lime to B tier so it's a bit more evenly balanced. So overall, these are my dungeon rankings. I do have a lot in A tier and only purple in S tier, because purple best dungeon, gotta be independent. And then we have everything in A tier. Nothing in F tier, because we are not ignoring any dungeon at all that would deserve to be at F tier in any way. And I already mentioned Mal. Mal would probably be at like the top of B tier. It's a pretty fun dungeon, except for the mining fatigue elites. And the boss fight is pretty interesting. But dungeons with boss fights, we forgot labs! OMG, labs. Labs is going right, like, if we had labs on this list, it would be right here. We don't have labs, so we're not gonna put it. Let's write labs. Labs. So anyway, guys, this is my tier list for Monumenta. We aren't missing any dungeons, I don't believe. All of these dungeons are all main, and then we have Olive Branch as well, because it's part of the mainline story as well. There are no other mainline story dungeons that we are missing. None at all. Because I've checked. You go from purple to teal to olive branch, you know. From pink or gray, you go to light gray. Nothing else we're missing. We got white wool to orange wool to magenta wool. To light blue to yellow. No other dungeons we're missing. I think we had a good time discussing my personal favorite dungeons. List your opinions below, because we are not forgetting any dungeon at all. I'm pretty sure this is the most complete list you'll ever find. And like, nothing's worse than anything here. Or like, the strikes, I enjoyed ED. EC is pretty chill. Haven't done the other strikes though, because I'm bad. Black Mist, I reached the boss, but then swarmed, because rogue. Overall, everything's solid. Anyway, guys, see you next video, which will be next week. I'll also be streaming on Saturday at 3 p.m. EST next week, so I'll see you then.